Well, greetings, Lynx family. I'm Jason Bollinger. I'm the CEO of Lynx here in the USA. Here in Houston, Texas, where we're going on 60 plus days of temperatures over 100 degrees, over 40 degrees Celsius, with no rain during that time. We're all a little irritable, we're all a little on edge, and we're desperately praying for a break in this heat and a new season to come. But it's always an honor to get to share on the E-Link when it's my turn. And today I have something I want to share. And I'm in my car because I was thinking about a time raising our children. And when you're 16 years old, you're eligible to get your driver's license in America. When you're 15, you're eligible to get your learner's permit. And when I was growing up, we would go to a driving school, and my driving instructor's name was Clarence. I'll never forget him. And he had a brake on his side of the car, so when I would do something that he didn't think was safe, he would slam on the brakes and from his side and kind of grab the steering wheel and make a correction. But somewhere along the way, they decided it could be a good idea for parents to train their kids and to be the ones who certify them to get their learner's permit. So we had that experience with our children, and I'm not sure we've ever recovered from the anxiety that we created in each other during that season. But one of the things that my kids had trouble with was staying in the middle of their lane. And so you'd be going along and they would kind of drift, and then there's those like markers on the side of the road here that when you hit them, it's boom, 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 and it's letting you know, hey, you've gone off course and you're in danger of going off the road. But it would trigger this like panic response in them where they would hear the bumps and then yank the wheel over to the other side, and now they're in the other lane and maybe there's a car there, and now that's not safe. But I just remember this tendency to overcorrect when something wasn't quite right. And I think that in our world today, we've got a lot of overcorrection. There's a lot of polarization. Our social media feeds and the things that we watch on TV are communicating these narratives that push people to one thing or the other. And so now there's like these camps of people, and it's like you're either there or you're there, and it's created this tension that's really uncomfortable. And it's made me think, recently I was studying in John chapter 4 about Jesus encountering the woman at the well, and he said a time is coming, and a time is actually here, where true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. And what that makes me think of is that we spend so much time in different kinds of churches. You know, there's people who are more comfortable in the spirit part of Christianity, like love the charismatic elements of the faith. And then there's people who are left-brained and love the apologetics and love the theology and love the study. And so they may gravitate a little more towards truth. And what I'm seeing more and more is that when there's a red flag, or where there's like an abuse of one of those two things, we have a tendency to discredit the whole thing. We have an expression here, so we throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't know if you have that one as well, but we have these tendencies to just move away from something that was like a warning sign, that indicator that tells us, hey, something's not quite right. And then we move all the way to the other side. But so much so, there seems to be like a spirit of criticism that's rising up with it, to where we look at people who don't think the same as we do, and we make judgment about that, or we make criticism of that, and we decide that our way is better. But I think Jesus is challenging that when he's saying spirit and truth, because it's never supposed to be about your comfort or my preferences or your preferences, because Jesus calls us into some things that are pretty uncomfortable. Living by faith and taking the gospel to the ends of the earth, those are uncomfortable things that require us to trust him, that require us to come to a reality that's not, this side or that side. But Jesus said it's a narrow road that leads to life, and few actually find it. And so I wonder if it's a time where we're being called away from these extremes into a more peaceful existence, especially so that we can work together to take the gospel, the good news of Jesus, where it needs to go the most. And post-pandemic, I think that we're seeing some drift from mission, to where it's like, well, it was going well, but now we're a little afraid of what's going to happen with the world and the way things are. And so people have kind of stopped engaging as much as they used to in the areas of mission and mission projects and mission people. And I just want to invite us to consider that it could be an and. We need to be concerned with situations at home, but we also need to be concerned with the needs around the world, which are worse than they've been in many, many years. We've lost 7 years of progress in eliminating poverty around the world, and we need to reclaim that ground. And so I think it's time for us to just consider a mission correction. How do we come back to the center of mission, the center of the Great Commission, the center of our obedience to take good news to the poor? And I think it's an exciting time to see what God might have in store for us in this season, to stop overcorrecting and to correct back into the center of God's will for mission in our lives and in the life of the church. So I love you guys. Thanks for letting me share. Look forward to talking to you soon. God bless.